This is Tuesday, April 28th. You're watching Compass on CBC. Here's what's making news on P.E.I. It seems federal and provincial tensions are on the rise as P.E.I.'s Liberal MPs write a letter rebuking P.E.I. Health Minister Corey Deagle's recent comments as misinformation and political posturing. The province is hitting the brakes on plans to buy more electric school buses. Tonight, a closer look at why and reaction to that decision. And UPEI engineering students have been collaborating with students and staff from Lennox Island, creating tools to support learning from the land. Ahead, see their projects in action. Good evening, I'm Louise Martin. Thank you for joining us. P.E.I.'s 4 federal MPs are not happy with the province's Minister of Health. They want Corey Deagle to apologize for comments he made about apparent cuts to healthcare funding for the island. It all came to a head in the P.E.I. legislature today, and that is where our Wayne Thibodeau is and has more details for us now. Wayne, what are the MPs upset about?
Well, last week, P.E.I. Health Minister Corey Deagle said the federal government is cutting $29 million over the next 3 years for healthcare transfers to the province. Now, he rhymed off a list of programs saying the feds have left the province to absorb the costs for all of those programs. But it was some of the language that Deagle used here in the House that caught the attention of Ottawa. Here's a sample of some of Deagle's recent comments.
Honestly, what I'm focused on right now in our department is the federal government's cutting funding to our department, and we have to step up to the table. Where's the great Mark Carney now, Mr. Speaker? We have to fill the hole that the federal government's left. We're going to be there to support them, but if the federal Liberals aren't, they stand it up and then they sneak out the back door in the cover of the night, and then we're left holding the bag to finish funding this, Mr. Speaker. Funny, they seem to run away from it fairly quick, Mr. Speaker. I never thought I'd say, please give us Trudeau back. At least he gave us money to offer these services.
Now, Deagle says that the deputy ministers were told that the funding for these programs would not continue, but he says the federal government is now willing to come back to the table.
And Wayne, what do P.E.I.'s 4 Liberal MPs have to say about the comments that Corey Deagle made?
Well, they wrote this letter, and it's fair to say they're not happy. They say they're hearing from panicked constituents who have been contacting their office ever since Deagle made the comments last week. Now, in the letter, they say Deagle's comments were, quote, laden with misinformation and designed to sow fear and deflect responsibility. Now, they say the Canada Health transfers to P.E.I. will actually be increasing this year. Now, let's take a look at this letter that Charlottetown MP Sean Casey wrote. In it, he says, the strategy of painting P.E.I.'s major funding partners as an adversary is bizarre and ill-advised. Mocking the Prime Minister from the floor of the provincial legislature is noticed in Ottawa, and not in a good way. Now, the MPs say the federal health minister has always been willing to talk about renewing these programs. They also say Deagle made those comments before even meeting with the federal health minister. Now, they're scheduled to meet Monday. The MPs say the first thing Deagle should do is apologize. Now, I did talk to Deagle earlier today. He says he has no intention of apologizing. And Premier Rob Lance, just a few moments ago, actually told me this is just all politics. And he's confident that they'll be able to work together to be able to come up with a deal to continue the funding of these programs.
And I mean, they're meeting, right, with the federal health minister. Deagle is on May 4th, so we'll have to see how that goes. Wayne, thank you. That's Wayne Thibodeau reporting from the P.E.I. legislature tonight. Well, another nice setting day, Jay, for P.E.I.'s North Shore today.
Yeah, it was calm, maybe not quite as calm as yesterday, but very close. Also not quite as cool as yesterday for those early morning temperatures, although the wind has picked up after a quiet start to the day, but that sun is still shining as it has been since dawn, as North Shore fishers headed out onto the water for setting day. And let's take a look at what we can expect for tonight through your Wednesday. We will see that clear sky remain with us through the evening hours tonight. That brisk wind will as well. It does ease a little bit after midnight, but it will pick up again gradually through the day tomorrow. And we will start to see some clouds building in, becoming partly cloudy or a mix of sun and cloud into the morning hours. And then through the afternoon, those clouds continue to build. And by late afternoon into the evening, we'll again see a pretty brisk southeasterly wind that could be gusting 30, even over 40 kilometers per hour. Temperature-wise, not quite as warm tomorrow as what we saw today, but the mild temperatures will be sticking with us, Louise, at least for a few more days.
All right, thank you, Jay. The P.E.I. government is abandoning its goal to eventually make all of its school buses electric. That plan was first paused last November. Now the plug has been pulled indefinitely. Steve Bruce reports.
Well, the P.E.I. government is scrapping its goal to make all of its school buses electric by the year 2030. As it stands, there are 107 electric buses in the province's fleet of more than 300, but the education minister says his government won't buy any more until there's one on the market proven to be more reliable.
I mean, this is going to be indefinitely until we figure out a better electric bus. Our diesel buses have proven that they're much more reliable.
The province started buying electric buses 6 years ago, and drivers have been flagging problems ever since. They break down more, take longer to repair, and require more maintenance. In fact, according to the province, while its diesel buses are off the road about 10% of the time, it's 20% for electric. Though 2 years ago, then Environment Minister Stephen Myers, who has since resigned from politics, brushed off those concerns.
I think that there's been some overplay on the struggle of electric buses.
The past president of the School Bus Drivers Union is pleased the PC government has now changed its thinking.
I think that's definitely a step in the right direction. We feel like as drivers, the drivers I talked to, the government probably should have done some more research on this before they dove into it. Maybe leased some of the buses and tried them out before diving in and buying all the buses that they have.
All of P.E.I.'s electric buses were manufactured by Lion Electric. It entered creditor protection a little over a year ago and has since been bought by a group of Quebec investors. The company is now simply called Lion, and it is still making electric buses. It said today in an email to CBC that there's still a, quote, real and lasting market for the buses.
Obviously, this recent news is kind of a shock.
Valerie Tremblay is with Green Communities Canada, an advocacy group that supports the use of electric school buses. She says P.E.I. was leading the country on that front, but now
other provinces are starting doing the transition, and they have not let go entirely of like buying electric school buses or even buying Lion. So I'm wondering what makes it different for P.E.I.
Now, Tremblay says there are electric buses on the market that are reliable and that they're worth the extra cost for the environmental and health benefits. The education minister says his priority is getting kids to school each day, and that at least right now, diesel buses are the best way to get them there. Steve Bruce, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Maritime Electric's new Woodstock switching substation is now online. The utility says this should bring more reliable power to Western P.E.I. It has 50 megawatts of capacity and a second power line, which works as a backup.
We're always looking to improve the reliability of our system, right? So if you can create a redundant system, a backup, for when there's a problem, then your reliability is going to be really good, right? So, and right now our reliability is exceptional. We average around 3.2 hours of outages per customer per year, and it far surpasses the reliability of our peers in the region.
The project costs just under $14 million to complete. Maritime Electric says it expects the new station to reduce outages in West Prince in the area by nearly 55%. Well, filling up was a little bit more painful today. Fuel prices up right across the board. Iraq increased the price of regular gas by 8.5 cents, bringing it to $1.90 a liter. Diesel jumps 6 cents to $2.25 a liter, and furnace oil up as well, up 5 cents to $1.67. The most you will pay for propane is just under 93 cents. The person in charge of organ and tissue donation on P.E.I. says the creation of a liaison position has been needed for a long time here. The goal is to make donations easier for islanders. Right now, organ donations are not actually very common on the island, so officials expect the new role will help families and healthcare workers.
they could be at the bedside during the organ and tissue donation process, so they could speak to the families directly. But I think the main benefit is going to be staff education and that communication with the out-of-province organ donor coordinators, and, you know, just hearing from the families firsthand what resources they need.
That was Angela Carperdone Island Morning this morning. She says each situation is unique. She says it's not like you see on television. Families can take their time to make plans. The liaison position is expected to be filled next year. School principals became the students today at a new required training led by Lennox Island community members. They did a blanket exercise, which is an interactive way to learn about the history of Indigenous peoples. The Department of Education says this training aims to better meet the calls to action laid out in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Their jobs are incredibly busy with the day-to-day, but we wanted to provide them with an opportunity to immerse in this learning and build their capacity and understanding through this incredible exercise, to understand the history and understand from people with lived experience and how that translates back in their school to their school culture and for their students, and helping them build their understanding and knowing, and helping all of their students see themselves in their learning.
The Department of Education hopes training courses like these will make schools a more welcoming place for all students. Well, U.P.E.I. engineering students have been collaborating with students and staff from Lennox Island to help create land-based learning tools. This week, they had the opportunity to present their work to the students who will be using them. Delaney Kelly has more.
U.P.E.I. engineering students are showing off their projects that will make learning from the land easier for students in Lennox Island, like this boot and glove drying rack.
As the air gets drawn through by the duct fan, it not only dries the gloves, it also pushes that air through the holes.
It's one of a few projects students have been working on since September, and elementary school kids say it's cool to learn the science behind it all.
It's gonna make your boots dry.
How much is that going to help you?
It's going to help you from going outside to play.
John J. Sark Memorial School teaches students about their culture and the land. Students get to do things like go hunting, tap maple trees, and learn about traditional medicines. But teachers say sometimes that can come with challenges because the program is still new and the budget is small. These projects are trying to take away some of those challenges.
It's removing barriers for these children to learn about their culture and get a real quality education, get to do things that a lot of our public school kids just don't get to do yet.
I feel like engineering is in all aspects of life, so we just applied our problem solving to a problem that they had, and I appreciated their trust in us to help them in making their overall Lennox Island First Nation experiential learning into a reality.
This sap boiler will cut back hours of time it takes them to make maple syrup and will make it safer.
We make sap every year, so that's going to be great, and it's not going to take too long.
The engineering students say this was about more than just a grade. It's a chance to learn about Indigenous people and give back to community.
In communities like on Lennox Island, I feel like everybody works together and they encourage each other to be successful and to do the best that they want to achieve. And so that was kind of where I was amazed. I was literally like, wow, this is so cool. Like, they're a big family.
These projects will be in Lennox Island classrooms soon. Everyone involved hopes this partnership continues and that some of the kids involved might someday want to become engineers themselves. Delaney Kelly, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Well, lobster fishers were up dark and early this morning for setting day. This is in French River. Boats filled with traps, eager to get out on the water. Fishers on P.E.I.'s North Shore had a delayed start. That was because of the weather and dredging needs. They were supposed to go out on Saturday, but today a clear morning and fairly calm waters and a little bit warmer than South Shore fishers had yesterday. We'll have Jay Scotland and the complete weather forecast for you in about 3.5 minutes. You're watching Compass on CBC. Stay tuned.
Federal economic updates, a provincial budget. What happens if you're trying to run a municipality in these uncertain financial times? Well, it was the lead discussion when the Federation of Municipalities got together earlier this week. We'll hear from the finance expert who led the conversation on the next Island Morning.
Welcome back. A lovely mild day. In fact, Jay, I did not even wear a jacket to work today.
Well, we're wearing jackets now.
No jacket required.
No outside jacket.
No outside jacket required.
I will say the wind has picked up though in the last few hours, so I was out there.
So a little.
It felt a little.
I may regret my decision when I go to my car at 7.
It's still lovely. It's just a little breezier, and that it does have a bit of a briskness to the breeze. But no complaints from me today.
No complaints from me either.
Here's why. Let's take a look at the temperatures from today. Daytime high temperatures. Look at that.
Look at Maple Plains.
Yeah, 17 degrees.
And I ride that up to 20.
Well, it was over 15. You round to 20. I like that mentality, Louise. It was not just a rounding up to 17. It was actually, I think, 17.3 degrees. So you did cross the 17-degree threshold in Maple Plains today. 16 degrees in Summerside, 14 in Charlottetown. As we take a look at those temperatures, really the only cool spots, were if you were downwind of the water, with that wind coming in out of the southeast and quite blustery today. Now, it was calm for setting day this morning. Love that. That is great. But the wind has picked up gradually as expected through the afternoon, and that did subdue temperatures. East Point reporting station also into North Cape as well. Tomorrow, not going to be as sunny or as mild, but still very mild. As today or yesterday. We'll hold on to the mild weather at least through Thursday. Next best bet for rain, in case you're wondering, because things are starting to get a little dry. That'll be Friday. We could actually see some more substantial showers on Friday, and it's also the first ferry crossing is expected on Friday as well. Wind could be an issue. Too early to say for sure, but a brisk east-southeasterly wind, I think, could be quite gusty, 50 to 60, even 70 kilometers per hour, looking at the latest guidance. So just keep that in mind. All right, there's a look at our current temperatures across the island. Down to 6 now in East Point, 7 in North Cape, still at 14 degrees in Summerside, 16 in Maple Plains, 14 degrees in Charlottetown, 11 in St. Peters. Mild conditions, not a cloud in the sky, not much to show you on the satellite and the radar picture. Really no weather for me to track today. But we'll look ahead to late Thursday, and you'll start to see our next system that'll be moving in that will bring some wet weather that is much needed as we move into the weekend. Good for our growers. If you've done prep work on the lawn or your garden, also good for that as well. So through the overnight hours tonight, a few clouds will start to gradually build. I am expecting a fairly sunny start to the day tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud into the early to mid-morning, but it does become a bit cloudier as we move into the afternoon. I do expect a bit more in terms of sunny breaks through the afternoon than what we're seeing on this forecast model, but mostly cloudy conditions by late afternoon and evening, and that wind will be picking up again as well, gusting over 40 into the evening hours or even by late afternoon for your Wednesday as well. Now, as we move through Thursday, likely going to see breaks of sunshine, a mix of sun and cloud, but leaning towards the cloudier end of that mix, and then we have that trough, area of low pressure developing south of the trough that will be moving in Thursday night into Friday. Showers to more substantial periods of rain through the day on Friday with that strong east to southeasterly wind as well. Temperatures tonight between 0 and 2 degrees for western areas under a mainly clear sky. It does become cloudier through the day tomorrow. A little cooler by the water, but temperatures could be anywhere from 10 to 12, even 13 degrees possible for inland areas for your Wednesday. Central and eastern PEI anywhere from -1 to +1 will be the range of overnight low temperatures tonight. Still mild tomorrow, just not as warm or as sunny as what we saw today. About the same in terms of that brisk wind, 15 to 30 kilometers per hour, maybe gusts late day to 40 from the southeast, so very similar in that regard. Similar forecast for your Thursday as well. There's that wind and rain for Friday and into the weekend. Of the 2 days, Saturday be a little cool, but the nicer of the two with more wet weather moving back in for Sunday as well. But rain is not a bad thing. Let's take a look now at our first photo for you tonight. Amanda Boswell sending this one in. Nice to see the bumblebees outside again, and I had an encounter with a bumblebee today, Louise.
Did you?
Nobody looks tough running from a bee, and I am certainly...
Did it get you?
No, it didn't get me. I was raking, and I disturbed its nest, and it was a fuzzy little bumblebee like that.
I thought maybe it just thought you were a sweet flower, Jay.
No, he was not thinking I was sweet at all. I ran into the house. If you want to send your photos our way, drop them into our inbox, compass@cbc.ca, and maybe you'll see your photo here on the show. Louise?
Thanks. Coming up, a letter signed by PEI's 4 Liberal MPs raises serious concerns about PEI Health Minister's political tone and the future of healthcare funding on the island. It raises questions of trust, accountability, and leadership. MP Sean Casey joins us with more after this commercial break. Mocking the Prime Minister from the floor of the provincial legislature is noticed in Ottawa, and not in a good way. Those words were written by Charlottetown MP Sean Casey in a letter addressing comments made by P.E.I. Health Minister Corey Deagle in the legislature last week.
Mr. Speaker, honestly, what I'm focused on right now in our department is the federal government's cutting funding to our department, and we have to step up to the table. Where's the great Mark Carney now, Mr. Speaker?
For more, I am joined by Liberal MP Sean Casey. He is in Ottawa. So, Sean Casey, you strongly criticized Minister Deagle's public statements, saying they were laden with misinformation, designed to sow fear. What specifically gave you pause?
Just right off the top, Louise, that letter was on my letterhead. I did coordinate it, but you will note that it bears the signatures of all 4 members of Parliament, and it expresses the view of all of us. The passage that you just clipped was probably the first installment. Subsequent to that, there was a choreograph-friendly question that built on that. The fact is that Minister Deagle has never met the federal minister, and yet is being quite aggressive in his comments towards the government of Canada. They don't sit well. And they have also really scared constituents. All the MPs in their constituency offices, after those comments from Mr. Deagle, have received many, many calls of concern. I mean, the fact is that what he's alleging is that the end of a contract constitutes a cut. He's not accepting any responsibility for the current state of healthcare, and yet drawing the inference or making an illusion in the public that the government of Canada is somehow to blame. It's an ill-advised approach to a level of government that sends $1 billion a year to Prince Edward Island, an amount that continues to grow and an amount that's more per capita than any other province. It's not the type of communication that we're used to seeing from the province of Prince Edward Island, and the 4 of us felt that it needed to be called out.
You say in the letter, and I guess it was signed by the other 3 Liberal MPs of P.E.I., you say that Ottawa noticed and not in a good way. So has this reached the Prime Minister? Has it reached the federal health minister?
It certainly has reached the federal health minister. I have not had a conversation with the Prime Minister on this specific topic, but certainly the 4 members of Parliament stood up and took notice. And the federal health minister was taken a little off guard, given that she has never had a meeting with Minister Deagle. A meeting has now been set up for the 4th of May. I will see the Prime Minister personally tomorrow, so I'm honestly not sure whether this is on his radar, but it's on the radar of everyone that's watching PEI politics and everyone in the healthcare sphere.
Could this approach harm federal-provincial relations?
What do you think? You walk into a meeting with someone that you've been slagging publicly, and you say to them, we would like you to increase or extend funding. I can't imagine any scenario where this type of an approach would be greeted with open arms. I think it's something that has not yet reached the level of being beyond repair, but at a bare minimum, a clarification or an apology or a distancing by the Premier is in order.
Yeah, so you mentioned that meeting that's scheduled for May 4th with the federal health minister. How should the PEI health minister approach that meeting? With an apology, you think, off the bat?
Well, he should be getting good at it. I mean, he apologized to the Health PEI board for bungling the communication around the firing of the CEO, as I mentioned in the letter. And I think an apology is entirely the appropriate place to start that meeting. In fact, I think waiting until May the 4th might be a bit late.
The letter emphasizes funding agreements are typically time limited. Today, the health minister, P.E.I. health minister Corey Deagle, again said that the federal government is pulling out of some of the programs and that, or the funding is being pulled, and that the Canada Health transfer is actually going down next year from 5 to 3%. So he's talking about future cuts there. Are those numbers accurate?
No, they're not accurate. The health transfer is increasing, not decreasing.
But next
Minister
year too?
Yes, Minister Deagle is trying to portray a smaller year-over-year increase as a cut. And it's disingenuous. It has led many other people to come to the same conclusion that you just did, and he knows better.
So is the government willing, to your knowledge, willing to negotiate some of these recent, I guess, expired funding for some of these programs that the minister is talking about?
The minister has specifically said that she is, and she looks forward to that initial conversation.
Okay. And so you think there is room to, as you said, it's not completely ruined. The relationship is not soured to that extent where those negotiations could fall apart.
I don't think it has yet, but I think a continuation of this type of ill-advised strategy it doesn't bode well.
Okay. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Louise.
That was MP Sean Casey in Ottawa. As we go to break, here's a look at the current temperatures across the country. Look at that, 14 mild degrees currently in Charlottetown. And we are back in just over 3 minutes. Stay with us.
And welcome to our community. It feels like hiking weather. Marina's got a fantastic sign that shows you the importance of this event, and hopefully this mild weather sticks around as well for Saturday. Ron from Island Trails, tell me about this event which is launching on Saturday.
Well, we're giving back to the community, but we're also encouraging people to walk on trails. So people will be there, 3 locations across the island. They can come to that launch day, walk up, scan the QR code, donate monetarily, or if they'd like, they can bring non-perishable food.
So there'll be a collection bin, or will somebody be there collecting the donations?
Food bank will be there, people, thanks to Mike and his crew, and we'll be there too to give information and support.
Now, there is 3 island trails that, not all 12, it's a dozen trails on P.E.I. Not all of them are open right now, right?
No. All of them are open.
Oh, they're all open, right? Oh, sorry, okay. All of them are open, but only 3 trails will be part of this, one in each county?
3 trails will be the launch day for the location of dropping off food. All the trails will have signs and welcome people to donate.
And what are those trails?
Bottom River, Winter River, and Forest View.
All right, I was putting your trail knowledge to the test. There's the president from Island Trails. You passed the test. And Mike, tell me about this right now in terms of the need. We usually are doing our talking during our Feed a Family, Make the Season Kind campaign. We are into the warmer months. Is the need still high?
The need never goes away. So, we need support all year round, and this is a fantastic initiative. And we're just very excited to be a part of it.
And for folks that might be popping on down to the actual trailheads to drop off a non-perishable donation, is there anything in particular that you'd like to highlight right now that you really need?
Absolutely. We're always looking for things like rice and pasta, canned meats, canned tuna, and cereals.
Okay, so there you have it. Those are the, but any non-perishable will be accepted. You also like monetary donations as well?
Well, absolutely, because we turn those into perishable products. We purchase things like apples, eggs, milk, ground beef. So the more monetary donations, the more perishable products we'll buy.
So less food waste, more getting out the door to the folks that need it. And if I want to find out more information, I know you have the QR code that Marina is showing off there, but it's also up on your website as well, right?
It's up on Island Trails, yeah, for sure. And I believe it's up on your site too.
Absolutely, urhm.org. And we would love to see as many people come out, not just to support the food bank, but get out and enjoy this great weather.
And the weather's looking still okay for Saturday, not too bad, between rainy days. And thank you for stopping by. If you want to drop by, drop us an email. The address is peicommunity@cbc.ca.
The Liberal government has delivered its spring economic update. Already revealed on Monday, the Sovereign Wealth Fund. That's a nation-building investment vehicle. But as Kate McKenna explains, there's also a program to help both the economy and young workers.
Un plaisir. Merci tout le monde.
Carney's government says it wants to get more big things built. The spring economic update includes new plans to find workers to do it.
We're building Canada strong for all, because when we do, there's no limit.
New numbers from the government show the Canadian economy has remained stable, doing better than expected despite tariffs and international upheaval.
In the short term, a little bit of resilience, which is giving us a bit of a revenue pop that the government's been able to spend.
The deficit is less than was projected at $67 billion, boosted by strong oil and gas revenues and more tax dollars than expected.
Well, since the fall budget, there was a bit of a $60 billion windfall kind of spread over the 5 years, which has allowed the government to spend about that much in new measures.
These are serious times, and Canadians expect prudent fiscal management. We are very mindful that affordability is top of mind for Canadians.
The spring economic update includes $37 billion in new spending, a key new initiative to recruit, train, and hire up to 100,000 skilled trades workers. It will cost up to $6 billion and will include money for companies to get up to $10,000 in wage incentives. Plus bonuses for completing training and fully funded training for Canadians who join the reserves.
That we've been really focused on the question of how we not only attract people to the trades, but I think importantly, as union trainers and colleges have indicated, how we get people through the training.
Canadians and employers will also get a small break on contributing to the Canada Pension Plan. It should save an employee earning $70,000 about $130 annually.
Much remains to be done, but we are building a Canada that is strong and fair, a Canada that is that is not just for some, most of the time, but for all at all times.
In spite of the better than expected outlook, the government is still grappling with a lot of uncertainty, with global pressures, including the pending review of the North American Free Trade Agreement. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
King Charles and Queen Camilla visited the White House on the second day of their U.S. trip. While the historic allies focused on the common bond, there's also a shared scandal that's overshadowing this royal visit. Lisa Shing reports.
King Charles touching on a wide range of subjects in his address to Congress here on Capitol Hill, talking about how the two countries have a history of intelligence sharing and cultural exchanges. The main theme, however, was on the unity between the two countries, the centuries of shared history, saying that they don't always agree with each other, but that they have that history, they have an alliance that shouldn't be broken.
I pray with all my heart that our alliance will continue to defend our shared values with our partners in Europe and the Commonwealth and across the world. And that we ignore the clarion calls to become ever more inward-looking.
Now, there was a question of whether Charles would acknowledge the fact that the survivors of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in this speech, and in fact, he did in a somewhat subtle way, but there was a nod to it.
In both of our countries, it is the very fact of our vibrant, diverse, and free societies that gives us our collective strength, including to support victims of some of the ills that so tragically exist in both our societies today.
King Charles also underscored the importance of the NATO alliance, considering that in recent weeks we heard Trump calling into question his support for that alliance, given the tension between the two countries right now. And Charles also acknowledging what happened over the weekend, the assassination attempt on the U.S. president, saying that kind of violence will not be tolerated. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Washington.
The United Arab Emirates is quitting OPEC, the group of oil-producing nations. It's a move that's expected to weaken the group's clout over global oil supplies and prices. OPEC has been struggling to move oil exports through the Strait of Hormuz because of Iranian threats against ships trying to navigate those waters. The UAE has pushed back in recent years against OPEC production quotas, which have restricted the amount of oil it can sell globally. It has also criticized its Gulf neighbors in recent weeks for not doing more to protect it against Iranian strikes during the war. Palestinian families in occupied West Bank say their children are being targeted by Israeli settlers. Last week, 3 teens were killed in the latest spike in violence, and human rights groups and international observers say it is only getting worse. Tom Perry reports from a village in mourning, and a warning for you. Viewers may find parts of this video distressing.
A mother consumed by grief. Nida Al-Nassan making her way to the spot where her 14-year-old son was shot and killed. Aus Al-Nassan was struck by a bullet outside his school in the occupied West Bank village of Al-Murayir. A 32-year-old man was also killed. Video from the day shows students running to their fallen classmate, and a figure dressed in military fatigues firing on the school. A week later, some students are back, but their parents are still fearful. Saad Na'asan is taking special precautions with his 2 boys. Before, my kids could walk to school, he says. Now, I put them in the car. I bring them here and then sit waiting for them to finish so I can take them home. Attacks on Palestinians by Israeli settlers have intensified in recent months. Human rights groups and the United Nations say these attacks are often ignored, enabled, or encouraged by Israeli security forces, that settlers routinely go unpunished and act with a sense of impunity.
The bullet hole right here? Yeah, that's a bullet hole.
In this case, witnesses say rather than pursuing the attackers, soldiers fired tear gas at the school. 17-year-old Omar Nassan was there. He's nervous about showing his face, but he knew both victims and is a distant relative of the 14-year-old who died.
He's not the first friend I lose, so I already accepted that I'm gonna be next. So it's not really much of a life.
The Israel Defense Forces say its soldiers were dispatched following reports of rocks being thrown at a vehicle carrying civilians, including a reserve soldier who opened fire on what the military calls suspects. The IDF says the reservist has been dismissed from his duties and his weapon confiscated. Asked whether anyone could face charges, the IDF says the matter is under review by military police. Tom Perry, CBC News, Al Murayir in the occupied West Bank.
Provinces across this country are preparing for wildfire season, and a big part of that is finding recruits who can handle the back-breaking nature of that job. In British Columbia, one boot camp has attracted more than 2,000 hopefuls ready to compete for one of these highly coveted jobs. Shelley Joyce reports.
BC Wildfire's new recruit boot camps are sending up smoke just outside of Merritt, BC.
Hey guys, let's not stand around.
2,400 people applied for the opportunity to do this. Only 200 will make the final cut.
It was probably one of the hardest things I've done. I don't think I've pushed myself that mentally deep.
Hauling hundreds of pounds of hoses, pumps, and equipment up and down this hillside. Hand-digging fire guard, laying hoses, and initial attack firefighting make this outdoor class an education in endurance and teamwork, all simulating a typical day on the fire line.
I've never felt that kind of physical pain before, and I just didn't think I could do as much as I did, and so I was really proud of myself at the end, but it was one of the hardest things I've had to do.
Chandler Bashtold is an instructor with 5 years of experience.
You're doing it with some of your best friends and your good crew members and your good teammates. So in doing it together, you at the end of the day, the sense of accomplishment is just so rewarding for yourself.
Guys, we can blast this with Hanson.
It takes grit, tenacity, and stamina to stand out here. And many of these applicants say they have gumption that surprised even themselves.
Let's go, let's get moving. Come on.
Melanie Clayton hopes her leadership skills are noticed.
How deep I can dig and show my worth, and also how I can lead, because I'm in this crew supervisor position today, and just showing that I can bring together the team and we can work together.
Days on the fire line during an intense fire season are long and sometimes tedious. Bashtold says sometimes it's the little things, like digging a perfect fire guard that can halt a fire in its tracks.
You see here, if there's any sticks or anything crossing our guard, that fire is allowed to creep across and continue going. So this debris like this would have to not be there. It'll allow fire to cross our guard, so it has to be right down to the mineral soil.
He says that unit crews in the province can spend a full 14-day deployment just digging guard. Over the next 2 weeks, these firefighters will bond at this boot camp, but only the best will be chosen to battle BC fires this summer. Shelley Joyce, CBC News, Merritt, BC.
Many of us have heard of K-pop music, but there's another genre that's seeing a global surge in popularity, Punjabi pop. Two of the biggest names from it are currently touring across Canada. CBC's Ina Sidhu has more.
Evidence of Punjabi music's explosion in worldwide popularity. Two of its superstars launching Canadian tours simultaneously. And something else is new. Diljit Dosanjh and Karan Aujla are playing the largest venues, starting with Dosanjh at Vancouver's BC Place.
I listen to him every single day, I promise. In the shower, he's my alarm song.
We feel proud of him, but we see ourselves in him.
According to Spotify, streams of Punjabi music have risen sharply in recent years. YouTube Music Canada has ranked Aujla among Canada's top 3 artists every week this year. Dosanjh consistently lands in the top 15. One reason, collaborations with Western artists, helping reach entirely new audiences.
The demand is there as someone like a Kendrick or a Drake. I'd say it's like we're seeing these shows sell out at equal paces.
Dosanjh's last North American tour, 13 dates in all, generated more than $63 million US, a number that could be surpassed this year by both he and Ojala.
We're expecting a lot of travel from international people to come to their shows.
The impact is even reaching the classroom. Toronto Metropolitan University just wrapped up its first ever course focused on Dosanjh.
What started as grassroots organizations, small shows behind the scenes, have now become stadium scale like performances across the world.
Both Diljit Dosanjh and Karan Aujala's tours make 5 Canadian stops: Vancouver, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto, and here at the Saddle Dome. Ina Sidhu, CBC News, Calgary.
Stock markets moved lower today, driven by tech stock weakness, higher oil prices. The TSX was lower by 233. The Dow down 25 points, and the Nasdaq fell 223 by the ringing of the closing bell. So losses on all three today. The Canadian dollar was lower, 37.07 cents US, and take a look at that price of oil, up over $3.50 US a barrel, inching closer once again to $100 US a barrel. Well, here is a beautiful photo. This is New Frage Harbor in Fortune Bridge. This was, of course, setting day. Jacinta McIsaac sent us this, and that is absolutely gorgeous. And see, I love seeing the people there to watch the boats go off. I mean, it really is kind of an emotional day for a lot of people.
Well, I mean, a lot of families are nervous seeing their loved ones heading out on the water.
Those boats are stacked. There's not a lot of room for humans on those boats once all those traps are loaded on. So it can be dangerous. So luckily, it was calm waters for setting day for both. It wasn't as calm today, you said, but...
I mean, yesterday it was still very calm, but yesterday there was no wind.
Yeah.
A little milder this morning, but it's just nice to see Mother Nature with a considerate weather forecast for island fishers.
I'm sure it made all the families breathe a little easier. It struck me yesterday with one of the people saying, I literally can't sleep for a month with anxiety waiting for setting day. So it's real. Yeah, that anxiety. All right, let's have a look at the almanac.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it did pick up that wind anyway through the afternoon, but the temperature did in a big way as well. 14 degrees in Charlottetown, 17 in Maple Plains.
Yeah, 17, nearly 20.
Nearly 20. Louise rounds up.
Just 3 away.
We'll start out mainly sunny in the morning. Clouds do begin to increase, though, by early afternoon and continue to do so. And that wind increases as well by late afternoon. Not as sunny means not as warm, but 13 degrees for inland areas, 14 possible. Still not
We'll
bad.
take it. We will take it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for Compass. You can always go online for more news from the province 24 hours a day. Don't forget about subscribing to the YouTube channel so you don't miss anything there. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, PEI.